Hello and welcome to the 7th edition of the Bookbreakrs podcast. I'm joined as ever by the fountains of reason. Reasonableness gushes forth from these two. So hello, Paul and Enda. How are you doing?
Hello.
All right.
That's a fine looking haircut there, Enda.
Yes. Going for the summer look, we have 2 days in a row here. That's the summer in Ireland.
Exactly. Right. So let me zip down through today's agenda. So today's going to be a Euros pod. So we're going to get the two boys to take a look at the tournament, outline who are their picks to reach the final, who they think is going to win it, golden boot, dark horses to watch out for, and then a player to watch out for as well, just to cap it off. So without further ado, we'll start with yourself, Paul, this week, will we? Do you want to go down through your spider and tell us who you fancy?
No problem. So I mean the groups are relatively, I think 5 of the groups are relatively straightforward. Or should be relatively straightforward. The Group A looks like Italy, Turkey, Switzerland, Wales in that order for me. Although in fairness, it's not the best Italian squad there's ever been.
Can you call out that order again?
Italy, Turkey, Switzerland, Wales.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. When you look at it, it could actually be in any order. You'd imagine that. I mean, we ruled out Wales the last time, and they did quite well in it.
They're all pretty ordinary, in fairness.
They are, yeah. I mean, just on history alone, and probably the quality of players, you'd have to say Italy would win the group. Group B, nailed on for Belgium to win it. I probably edge for Denmark over Russia to be runners up.
Yeah.
Group C, Holland should have enough to win the group, with Ukraine second. But again, Austria aren't a bad side, So I think the winners of the groups, with the exception of Group F, are probably nailed on. It's who gets the second spot, and because it's one of those weird tournaments where there's, I think you've got 24 teams, so you've got best third place teams and things like that. So that makes it a bit trickier to predict the second round of games. England should win their group. I think England probably will win their group, with Croatia in second again, and Scotland bringing up the rear in that group. So my wife's family are English and Scottish. Her dad's side of the family is Scottish, so it's going to be a bit of an interesting game next weekend. Spain then to win Group E, probably not the best Spanish squad that they've had in the last 10 years or so, but should have enough. With I'll plumb for Poland just because of the Lewandowski factor to finish runners up in the group. Seeing as Zlatan is out of the tournament, so Sweden will probably finish third. But I mean, the real group is Group F, isn't it? I mean, I have an outside feeling that Portugal are going to win it. Defend it, I think. Yeah, they're going to defend their title. It's just that with France and Germany in the group, again, not the best German side. But you can't rule out the Germans.
You can never I've gone for the Germans.
Yeah,
Portugal to win it. France runners up, with Germany probably sneaking through as one of the best third place teams, and poor old Hungary getting leathered in every game, I should think. But
yeah.
So so moving on then, that makes, like, with those predictions, where it all ends for England, I'm afraid, is going to be the last 16. If they win their group, they get the runners up out of Portugal, France, or Germany. So I think whichever one of those happens to be runners up, it'll be the end.
I was looking at it different. Is it not 3A, C? It depends on who finishes it with most points.
Yeah, well, I did it on the UEFA predictor app. So
yeah,
I guess that's Every time I've done it,
Yeah.
it's come up with the same.
Are they not
same
playing
sequence.
Are they not playing the second in Group E?
The winners of D.
Yeah.
No, the winners of D play the runners up in F. As far as
okay.
well, unless UEFA's app is wrong, I don't know.
I looked it up on the internet there actually yesterday morning because I pay a lot of attention and I've this wholly prepared. And it was 2D versus 2. It was 2D. What group? 1D versus 2E, I think.
I thought it was different. Well, I'm like I said, I'm pretty sure it's the runners up. I have
them playing Poland, which they're going to get beat by anyway, I think. But
this is the thing with England. England have a fairly distinct advantage in if they happen to win their group, then their first 4 games in the tournament will all be at Wembley.
Oh, I know what I did wrong. Go on, you're right. I put them second in the group.
Ah, right, okay. Well, which again could happen. But so anyway, it leaves me with a last 16 of Belgium, Sweden, Italy, Ukraine, Portugal, Switzerland, Croatia, Poland, Spain, Czech Republic, England, France, Holland, Germany, and Turkey, Denmark, which whittles down to Spain and France. There's going to be some great games, because you've got Portugal, France, Germany, France, Germany. At some stage, you pretty much guaranteed England and one of those teams. You've got Germany, Holland. It's great. You have to love.
Unless they come second.
If they come second,
yeah.
And that last piece I did was just a waste of time.
yeah.
I think they'll win it, but I'm not so sure that they're. Given that they've got so many home games, just the more I look at that squad, the less likely I think that they're going to go far in the tournament. I mean, you'll always get some bizarre results thrown up in
10 defenders, 5 midfielders. 10 defenders.
He's not called up anyone to replace Trent yet, has he?
I don't know. I hadn't heard.
I think because they're actually playing at the moment, if I'm not mistaken, or at 5 o'clock or something like that.
Yeah.
So maybe he's waiting to see what players come through that.
And of those midfielders, Calvin Phillips is just back from injury, and Henderson is so fresh back from injury he's not even playing.
Yeah, he's back training. It's a strange selection, really. I mean, I get it. You probably pick your best players, but if they're not fit,
when that's Jordan Henderson, you're in trouble.
Well, I'm
a Liverpool fan, so
he hasn't played for quite a while. So
yeah.
So if you whittle it down, then just move on, say, to the semi-finals. I've got a Belgium, Portugal, France, Holland semi-finals. Portugal and France in the final, and I'm going to stick with Portugal to win it. I think they've a great shot. The more I look at their squad, it's a better squad than it was the last time they won it. So
they don't seem to be as dependent on Ronaldo, do they?
Well, no, but they still have Ronaldo, who's still banging in goals at 36.
50 years from now, they'll be wheeling him out from a cryogenic chamber just to take the penalties.
Well, he doesn't strike me as the sort of player that's planning on retiring anytime soon. I imagine he's going to keep going. I think he's going to absolutely shatter the record for most international goals
and appearances as well. Probably.
Yeah, although I couldn't believe it the other day when Sergio Ramos said it. Was it 180 or 190 appearances for Spain? But then again, Spain, I suppose, have been reaching the latter stages in every tournament, really.
Yeah, how does he keep going, Ronaldo? Like he's still. It's not like he's slowing down either. He still looks pretty rapid for.
But I mean, and there's always. I always have this debate with myself. Really, I'm 41 now, and but even when I was 36, I if I'd looked after myself, then maybe.
Oh.
But it's not old. Do you know what I mean? 36.
To remember as well, in Ronaldo's head, the other 10 players are there to make him look good. If you lose the ball, that's it. Ronaldo ain't going back for it.
But the key is the team that he actually has behind them. as well. You know, if you got Bruno Fernandes on form, of course that's the debate really. If Bruno
does he play internationally?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if
and who else is in that midfield? Moutinho, is it?
They've got Neves, Moutinho. I'm not sure exactly.
You've Bernardo
I'm
Silva
not entirely
in there as well.
Yeah, I mean, in defence, then they've got Ruben Diaz, like who won both Premier League awards, and they won the PFA one.
And Pepe is still around.
Yeah, and you've João.
Pepe is still around. Yeah,
João Felix up front as well. Like they have a pretty decent
exactly.
squad.
Yeah,
I think it's in defence is where I had the question mark for them with the likes of Pepe.
Down the flanks, I think they're weak.
Yeah, they have Cancelo as well, who had a good season. Yeah, like they'll take whoever beats them. You'd imagine will go a long way.
But I mean, the irony of it is they mightn't even
Belgium. In my case, that's who's going to beat them.
But again, with the Belgium squad, it's almost like they're. I think the last World Cup, the 2018 World Cup, was probably their big opportunity to win a tournament. You know, I don't see that they're regenerating that crop of talents that came through. You know, the likes of Alderweireld and Vertonghen. Hazard is 30 now, out of form. You know, or Courtois is kind of turned around at Madrid, but De Bruyne, don't know if that injury is going to keep him out for a couple of games. He could, in fairness, probably
he'll be okay.
He'll have a mask on,
the first couple of games.
It sounds like he'll be okay. All right, so Paul, you're nailing your colours to the Portuguese.
Yeah, I'll go with Portugal. Yeah.
Enda, do you want to fly down 3 years there?
So as I've kind of intimated there, I've gone a bit different to Paul. Like, well, different insofar as there's a few out there selections. First group, Italy, Turkey, like Paul said. Second group, Belgium, Denmark. I think that's pretty straightforward. Netherlands, Ukraine, Group C, straightforward. I've gone Croatia to be at top versus England. I think England are way overrated. Again, 10 defenders, 5 midfielders, 2 of which are injured. And like we were debating at the start of the year, would they bring Maddison? Would they bring Grealish? Would they bring Mount? Or would they bring, what's the other fella? Foden. And they brought them all. They brought them all, bar Maddison, who wasn't really in the conversation.
He kind of blew the conversation anyway,
but they brought them all. Like, so that's 4 of the same player and 1 lads at home, obviously. So Jack Grealish in top of that as well. But that's just beggars belief for me. I see them not getting top of the group. I've gone Spain and Poland, like Paul there. And I've gone France, Germany in Group F. I think Portugal are overrated. So my last 16 then has Italy versus Ukraine, Belgium versus Portugal, France versus Russia, England versus Poland. And this is I'm going through different sides of the draw. I have Italy versus Belgium in the quarterfinal, France versus Poland. So that's Belgium versus France in one side of the draw. I have Russia, Turkey. No, where have we gone? All right. I have Turkey versus Denmark, Netherlands versus Sweden, Spain versus Austria, Croatia versus Germany. That gives me Turkey versus Netherlands and Spain versus Germany. Germany in the final versus France, and Germany will win.
Yeah, I mean, you can't rule them out, can you?
No, you just can't. You just can't. And you're player to watch as well. Yeah, you can never rule them out. And it's Joachim Low's last year as well. They'll be mad to get something for him. My player to watch is from Germany, obviously as well. But I just see them having. They just do it on the big stage, like.
Yeah. So
I have a feeling I could hazard a guess at who your player is from Germany to watch.
Hold on.
We'll come to it. No, I think
we'll come to that. So I just want to.
Hey, that's our job, Paul.
I want to go down through the groups again now because there's a few things that I would
like
call
out.
Yeah,
it's the third places that kind of that'll swing. Yeah. That'll swing. I reckon that'll swing how the whole tournament will go. Like if Germany beat Portugal, but Portugal get more goal difference against Hungary, which could happen, and we'll say Germany then draw with France and Portugal draw with France, but they don't beat them enough, then you could have Germany going in third place, which throws them in on my thing here. Germany. So I put Germany versus Belgium. Then I have Germany versus Portugal. No, I have Germany instead of Portugal. My apologies. I have Germany versus Belgium in the last 16. That translates into Germany versus Italy, and that translates into Germany versus France in the semi-final. If they come out third.
Right. I'm quickly going to go down through what I had just to see how it compares, right? And I have a few that I differ with you on. So I actually have Switzerland, Italy in Group A. Switzerland coming out on top. I think they're going to cause a shock in that group. I thought they did well in the qualifiers. There's no stars in the team. A couple of good players, Brian Bolo and a few people like that. But yeah, so I'm going to go Switzerland top, Italy second, Turkey third. I think Turkey just promised or flattered to deceive every time, you know, like that they just find ways to get beat, whether it's red cards or whatever. Like, and I've Wales bottom. Next Group B, then I've Belgium, Denmark. So I think Denmark could be one of the darker horses as well. Russia third. I've gone Ukraine, Group C, Netherlands second, Austria third.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, England. So England should top that group with their eyes closed. Scotland, so Group D, England, Scotland, Czech Republic. The idea that they would try and come second, I think if they tried that and
that's risky.
somehow messed up, Southgate would have to go into hiding for 20 years.
You're already putting the excuses out there, are you? I think Croatia will beat them. And then it's down to, can Croatia beat Czech Republic and Scotland, which I think they do.
Yeah. So I actually have Croatia not qualifying. Maybe did I accidentally move? No, I'm going to leave that there. So that's going to be one of my little call-outs.
Shocker.
They're an aging team, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think they kind of hit their peak in 2018 as well. And
yeah, they're still relying.
They are, but
short.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, the England hype, I think. Anyway, go on.
Group E then, so Spain, Poland, Sweden. I do think Spain will just have the craft to win the group, but I really don't think they'll do anything in the tournament.
They still have some good players.
Yeah. Then Group F, France, Portugal, Germany third. So I have Germany coming in the top 4 best third place teams.
So you've gone what? France, Portugal, Germany,
Portugal,
yeah.
Germany, yeah.
So we've all picked a different winner of that group now.
Yeah, that's the interesting one, isn't it?
I wonder, will Hungary surprise us all?
But then if we jump on then to the knockouts, so then I've Belgium, Turkey, and I've Belgium to win that. Switzerland, Netherlands, Switzerland to beat the Netherlands. That's maybe a tough one. I think the Netherlands have definitely improved from where they were, but they're a pale shadow of what they used to be at an international level. France, Austria, France to go through. Scotland, Poland to go through. Spain, Russia to cause a shock. England, Portugal, England to go through. I'm afraid, Paul. I do think England can do something this time around. It could be their year.
It's the draw, though, isn't it? It really, you can guess. You could get a favourable draw that could get you far into tournament, much like they did in the 2018 World Cup. To be fair.
Now,
So
with this draw, if they do beat Portugal, and if Russia beats Spain, then they'd end up beating Russia. So yeah, it all depends on the draw and how that goes. I'll just flick on. So Ukraine, Germany to go through, and Italy, Denmark to cause an upset, beat Italy. Quarterfinals, I have Belgium to beat Switzerland, France to beat Poland, England to beat Russia, which puts them into the semis, Germany to beat Denmark. So I then have semi-finals, Belgium, France to beat Belgium, and England to beat Germany. So I've got a France.
Never happened.
I don't believe it.
France, England final. We will be touting this pod back in a couple of weeks, wondering.
So I just need to write this down now. So Alan has predicted
7-1 Germany. Get on it.
France, England, and you predicted Germany against who was it in the final?
Germany versus France.
Germany, France. See, we are all predicting France in the final. We're all predicting France in the final, but none of us are predicting France to win it.
Now, France England final. I haven't had the courage to press that button yet because I really think if England get that far, they'll probably do it. So I'm going to say England. That they're to be shot at, but that's what I've gone.
But is it a dreadfully, as we've said, it's a dreadfully unbalanced squad, isn't it? I mean, it's if he goes out early in that tournament or goes out, all right, fair enough. If you lose to France or one of the big teams, it's not so much of an issue. But if he goes out of that tournament early to a team that so-called lesser team, he'll be slated for bringing those players.
Yeah, but I think
no midfielders.
What's he doing bringing Kieran Trippier, who incidentally is a United target?
Yeah.
Well, he's after winning the Liga with Atletico. He brings form, he brings defensive organisation. I think he's got options, right? Like I think a lot of people. I
think myself, Trent was being brought to play in midfield.
But this is the thing.
That's the only thing I can think like.
But this is the point, though. He's saying this player can play in this position, and Reece James has played at the right of the three. He's played wing back, blah blah blah. But they've not played in these positions for England. So you're bringing and even in these two warm-up games, he doesn't seem to be, trying out any of these players in these positions. In fact,
it's like he's probably
that aren't even going to the tournament.
Yeah, it's like he's playing his cards close to his chest, and that's only going to bite him in the arse. I mean, it's a big difference between
a master plan.
It's a big difference between playing on the right of a three with Thiago Silva and Harry Slaphead, who mightn't even play at all.
That might go through
the whole squad, right? You have Harry Slaphead is injured. You have Henderson just back from injury and barely just back. Phillips barely back from injury. Like that's two of your five midfielders and your premium centre half. Like, where's he going?
I believe that Rashford is carrying an injury as well, and a lot. He kind of hinted himself after the Europa League final that he's been playing with an injury for quite some time. A lot of people I know have kind of suggested that over the past year. He never seemed quite. He
never recovered from that back injury, did he?
Yeah, that's exactly. Well, that's what I suspected probably.
That's all. That was all down to the magical genius that is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer playing him when he was actually injured as well, wasn't it?
Well, yeah.
Played him in an FA Cup and he didn't need to play him at all.
Yeah,
he plays him in every game basically.
I think. Look, he's got. I think he's got options to go three at the back and wing backs. He can play a flat four with the likes.
Well, with all those defenders, you'd hope he's going five at the back.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he's got options, right?
Yeah, I know.
Five right backs, yeah.
And I think as a squad, they've got one of the better squads. They've also got coming from a good tournament. Like you often see sides do well in a World Cup and then go on one better the next time around. So I think they are building. I think Southgate will have learned a lot from the World Cup, but it's a young side, and mentally, I think they're definitely stronger than previous England squads. They've got probably the best striker, you would say. They've got a lot of guys who can supply him. If Kane is a good tournament, it may not matter if they concede, a goal or two. If they're
I agree with you in having a great striker in Kane, but they've got one of all the big teams, we'll say, one of the poorest centre half. First of all, they don't know what their centre half combinations are, and when it does come on, I mean, you're likely to have Mings there. Tyrone Mings, like.
Yeah.
You turn an Arctic faster than him.
No, he won't start. I mean, Stones.
Well, why do you bring him then?
Stones will start ahead of him.
Yeah, but if Maguire it doesn't make it, then who will start with Stones? Because I think you probably could see Mings.
I think you could be looking at a three with Stones, Cody, and fucking Mings. If Maguire isn't there, that actually wouldn't be too bad because you're only carrying one lad and you're not carrying three lads the size of Slabhead's head.
Yeah, no. If I was to guess, I would say he'll go with the four because Shaw is definitely a form player. I think he'll want him on the side. Stones has had a great season, and I think on the other side then Trippier won La Liga. I'd say he'll try to start with those three maybe and put in another centre half with those. If that's Maguire, fantastic for them, I think. If not, then maybe it's a bit trouble. But in front of them, then they'll have Rice and
and he's another lad back from injury.
Just going to say it.
Yeah, but he'll have Rice, and I don't know what the stage is with Henderson, but like there'll be lads in front of that defence who can protect them, fairly well. So, look, that's what I've gone
we'll
with.
Find out.
We will
find
soon find out who's right and who's wrong. So, in terms then of player to watch, Enda, you've spotted.
Paul has guessed it already. I think Kai Havertz. I think he's come into like such a vein of form with Chelsea, and I think the way they'll set up that international team, it'll bring all these good points into play. Like if he runs around like he did in that Champions League final for any game Germany play, they have more than a chance. They're 55% of the way to win it, because if he gets a chance in the other half, he'll put it away.
Yeah.
Now, I suppose counterbalance that, you might have Werner with him, but Werner makes chances. I know he misses goddamn awful lot of them, but he makes chances. And if you get Havertz in there around that 10 or maybe at the top of a diamond or something, you're way in a hack. I think he's going to have a great tournament. He's very impressive. I was sorry Liverpool never got him, and that has been proved right since. Yeah. It's no good for Frank the Wank, but sure, what does he know?
Yeah, it'd be a quiet summer for Frank after Chelsea's.
Yeah.
Paul, who's your man to watch?
Well, I was torn. That actually was not the German player that I thought you might have been thinking of. I thought you might have been thinking of Serge Gnabry, who I think is a great player. How Arsenal saw fit to let him leave in the first place,
and let him go for nothing as well.
The wonderful
absolutely fake all.
But for me, I think the more I've looked at that England squad, that I'm fairly sure that Jude Bellingham is going to have a big part to play for England in the tournament. I've only seen him a couple of times this season, but in the first, I think it was the first game against Man City in the Champions League, he was brilliant. For a kid that's, I know, is he even 18 yet? Yeah. I don't think he is, but I think you're going to see a lot of him in this tournament, and I think you'll see why.
Was it 2 or 5 million United wouldn't pay extra for?
I don't know.
I mean, no offense to him, but he's probably as well off. He never went to United.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you could have had that player for 2 to 5 million more.
No,
I think
he wouldn't have developed.
If you're a young player, if you're a young player at the moment, a very good young player, as I mentioned the other day, I think you have to think that a move to Dortmund is going to be the best thing for your career, because every young player who goes there seems to shine, and they develop them, bring them on to the next level. And I'm interested to see Jadon Sancho. Again, it's a player that I've not seen a huge amount of. If United are consistently being linked with him, and it looks like a deal probably will be done from this summer, I'd seen him a couple of times bring them. I don't know.
Be a better option than Rashford on the wing. Like if you could put Rashford up front and see what he's made of, and then have him on the wing.
I know what he's made of up front, and it's
I know what you think he's made of, but I'm just saying. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I mean, for me, Jude Bellingham, I think, is the one.
Yeah.
Okay, so Paul, you're going for Portugal to win it. Jude Bellingham to be one to watch. Is there a team you'd like to put forward as a dark horse who might have might do something?
You see, I'm kind of. I fancy Holland. I fancy Holland to make it deep into the tournament. They do have some good young players. One of the young players that I've seen playing a couple of times for PSV this season, and he's actually been linked with Liverpool this summer. There's a guy called Daniel Malen, and I think he's like the second top scorer in the Dutch league. Generally players who played in the Dutch league tend to do well historically in England. So I think it's an interesting. He's an interesting one, and I think you've got Memphis. You've got Donny is surely going to.
He'll be full of energy anyway.
Play more. Oh yeah, exactly. He's had a good rest, hasn't he?
He's had a good rest.
Yeah. Okay.
they've got a quality squad, so I think they'll do well. Yeah.
Cool. I'm at odds with you on that one, so we'll see. Enda, who would be your dark kind of team to follow?
Dark team, looking at this here, like going outside, Turkey. I know you say they're never going to do anything, but I think they're solid at the back. And once you're solid at the back, you go far. I can see them either losing to Netherlands or beating them and getting to the semi-final, to be honest.
Yeah. I like them. I really like them.
Yeah.
I just thought
And I think
always
they've
find
always
a way
been,
to let you down.
Yeah, they've always, sure, says the leg going for England. Sure, they have defensive solidity, and they always have good kind of tricky midfielders. So I think they'll go far. I mean, I don't see Netherlands having a lot of goals in them, and Turkey don't either. So I can see Turkey beating Denmark in the last 16, and Turkey having a right cut off the Dutch in the quarterfinals.
And they have that giant at the back, Kabak.
Well, they've the Sayuncu beside him as well.
Yeah.
I mean, if we go back to our yellow cards bet.
Okay.
He could be banned by the time the quarterfinals comes out.
Cool. All right, lads, we'll wrap it up. So
we said no, by the way.
Yeah. We have Paul going for Portugal, team to watch.
Yeah.
Netherlands, and Jude Bellingham as the player to watch.
And Kylian Mbappe for the Golden Boot.
Kylian Mbappe Golden Boot. And you're going with Germany to win, Kai Havertz as the man to watch. Who's your dark team and your Golden Boot?
Turkey, and I'll go. I didn't think about the Golden Boot at all. Maybe what group is Lewandowski in? Poland, Slovakia, Spain, Sweden. You'll get 2 or 3 in that game. Well, it'll be very low.
Get a lot of goals against Hungary, I reckon.
Yeah. Lewandowski, I'd say, just for to be out there for Golden Boot.
All right, cool.
Because I don't see our Ari getting past the last 16. So
yeah, cool. And then I'm going for England to win it. Harry Kane Golden Boot, and Jadon Sancho as the man to watch. And
it's coming home. It's coming.
I have to say that,
it's coming home.
I've been living in England for a good number of years now, and I wouldn't mind seeing them do well in the tournament. I don't, to anyone I suppose who hasn't lived in England, there's probably still the old bitterness towards them, back
800 years of it, Paul. 800 years.
Well, that may well be the case, and it's understandable.
And 800 more in some parts.
Yeah, but the 2018 World Cup, when they made the semi-finals, it was brilliant here.
It was.
And
yeah,
I think if
we were in France, and at a caravan park, or I wasn't allowed to call it a caravan, mobile home park. And down the pub, and Jesus, all the excitement, and then the minute they got bet, the whole place went ape shit, and they were very small then.
Yeah. So and then my dark team to follow, or my dark horses, I'm gonna go Switzerland. I think they might do something.
Yeah, it's a good shout. They're in Turkey's group as well.
Yeah,
they're a solid team, Switzerland, really, aren't they? They always qualify and never get humiliated or anything.
No, they're a tidy team. They're a tidy team.
Speaking of a brilliant team, is Burnley's Ashley Barnes going with
them? With England.
With who?
No, with Switzerland.
No.
Is he Swiss?
Is he?
Oh no, he's Austrian. Sorry, my apologies. Forget about that.
Is he?
Is he?
Yeah, he's Austrian.
Is he?
Austrian international.
Wow.
As
we sit here now, I'm going to have to check that because that is absolutely.
Well,
year of the Burnley disease, and you didn't know that. Jesus.
If he is Swiss and he's been coached by Sean Dyche, then I think that increases their chances even more.
He's not, and it wouldn't. Increase his chances of being a bigger disease, is it?
Ashley Barnes is an English professional footballer who plays as a striker for Premier League club Burnley.
He played for Austria. He's played for Austria. Well, he's played for them in a friendly then. He's played for Austria, I guarantee it.
Do you know what?
Are you sure he wasn't on holidays in Austria?
I stand corrected. Wikipedia
no
tells me that
way.
while born in
you.
Bath, English parents, it was believed that Barnes could qualify to represent Austria courtesy of his grandmother, who was from Klagenfurt.
There you for.
Excellent pronunciation,
But I
Paul.
don't think he made his debut as a substitute in the 73rd minute. Yeah, this is new.
This is great
Tell you
knowledge.
lads,
This
tell you
is
lads.
great
I mean, you
knowledge.
don't do your research.
This
You
is-
don't do your research.
I didn't see any need
Oh
to
my God.
research Ashley Barnes, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. You know what that smacks of? Obsession. You have an obsession with Burnley.
No,
Sean
Burnley
Dyche.
are diseased. They need to die. And next year they're going down. Next year they're going down themselves, Palace.
Right.
And one of the teams that comes up.
On that, I don't know how Burnley sneak into every pod.
With that bombshell.
They've done it again. All right, lads. Good stuff. Let's keep an eye on the tournament. Before we close out, we've set up a private league on the app. So anyone looking to join the app, any of our legion of YouTube subscribers can
I'll have one or two to join us if you want.
can join our private league, and there's 500 quid up for grabs, free to enter. So have a
I can
lash.
get them watching, all right. I can
The-
get them watching now. They'll be glued every week.
Yeah, the code is
greedy.
389-964-708. That's it, guys. Cheers, Paul. Cheers, Enda. And we'll catch you next week.
Kushti.
Peace. Free Palestine.
Bye.